we all have heard multiple of times from our teachers on the internet and at many places about the importance of storytelling in the corporate world we will be entering on. Also, we all have experienced some sort of storytelling, either in our day-to-day life or in our classes, and we all must agree that storytelling is a difficult thing. And telling funny stories is even more difficult. So let me ask you, how many of you have heard about tall tales or having any idea of tall tales? So this question is open to audience as well. So any guesses, guys? Yeah, any one of you can take the initiative. So Abhimanyu, Shubhankar, you can explain.
Yeah, Manik, like it's like telling a story in a funny way, in a sarcastic way, like a type of stand-up comedy.
Yeah, very brief introduction. So Shubhankar, you want to add something?
Yeah, perhaps as the name suggests, tall tales imply tall claims. So there is no realism. Is a lot of exaggeration, sometimes superhuman elements. And yeah, it ends up being humorous as well.
Yeah, very great explanation. So let me also brief you all the other people who might not be having any idea. So a tall tale is a story with unbelievable elements related as if it were true and factual. Tall tales are exaggerations of actual events and are often told in a way that makes the narrator seems to have been a part of that story. So let me not bore you guys with my gyan and open this event for you to experience it. But before that, let me introduce to our special judge of the day, Mr. Samrat Bedi, who is a professional in international communication and a public speaking certified coach. He is also a certified English expert from University of Cambridge. Last but not the least, he is also British Council certified IELTS trainer. Over the past 5 years, he has spoken to people around the world through various social, educational, corporate platforms. He has trained hundreds of students and professionals on effective communications, public speaking, and soft skills. He aims to develop soft skills of the individuals so that they are able to compete effectively in today's age where soft skills matter more than hard skills. So I would like to extend my hearty welcome to Mr. Samrat Bedi on behalf of I Am Amritsar. Now, I would like to call upon Mr. Yatendra to brief you about the competition rules and all the other things. Yatendra, over to you.
Thank you, Manik. Welcome, everyone. So now let's begin the event. Let me brief you all about the rules of the event. Each participant has 3 to 5 minutes to tell his or her story. Post the 5 minutes, you will be notified to complete your story in the next 1 minute. The story will be in English only, and the participants will be judged on different parameters by our judge. Our judge will be elaborating on the judging parameters more. So I would request Mr. Samrat Bedi to brief us about the judging parameters.
Thank you very much for the amazing introduction, Manik, and also Yatendra. And again, from my side as well, a very warm welcome to all present here. So just to brief you all with what exactly are tall tales and what I will be looking for in terms of your evaluation. And so tall tales, as somebody said, is a funny way of telling stories, but funny is a very vague way of describing it. It also needs an element of imagination to it. You know, it's like right in the name, like tall tales. So you need to exaggerate your story, make it a part of your imagination, and then express it to rest of the audience. That being said, in order to evaluate you, I will be looking at your speech development as to how your story progresses, how different elements come together, the effectiveness of those elements. So how that overall story comes out to be for their listeners, how you organize that content, what kind of humorous elements are you able to add to it, and also your physical presentation, what kind of gestures you are using in order to make your presentation effective. Also, I will be looking for the voice modulation, how you increase or decrease your voice, how you add characters to your story in order to make it more impactful. As well as, of course, since you are going to be speaking in English, grammar is of utmost importance. So make sure that you try to keep the grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation on point. And that is all from my side. I wish all the best to everyone present here. May the best one win. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to request you all to feel free to use the reaction buttons to appreciate the participants and to keep the environment enthusiastic and encouraging. With this, I would like to call upon our first participant. Our first participant is Mr. Vaishak MS from IIM Amritsar. Vaishak is a business enthusiast with a good sense of humor. His hobbies are playing board games, Sudoku, watching movies, and documentary. The title of his story is Dubious Vivi. Over to you, Vaishak.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Yes, Vishal, you are audible.
I hope your videos are on so that I can have a overall idea of your reactions to something. So how many of you drink here? Can I get some reactions towards it? Okay. So I think many of them are smiling. So I think that can be taken into the account as well. All right. So my story is Dubious Vivi. Strange name, isn't it? Let me give you an introduction to Mr. Vivi. He's extremely introverted. Hates people literally. If the sessions were not mandatory, we guys would not have even met. So that's about Vivi. But somehow, strangely, we guys met and we became really good friends. But he has this weird habit. Even I am sometimes curious about why is he having the habit. Whenever he see blood on my hand or my friend's hand or his hand too, he comes sucking it. He doesn't even leave a dog behind. So yeah, but who am I to judge? I'm a weirdo myself. Most of you guys are also in some or other ways. So how perfect is anyways? So now the real stuff. On a one fine day, when the tigers were reading newspaper and the lions were busy bossing around, but hippopotamus were farting. Me, my friend Vivi, and Sumo decided to go for a drinking party. Just like any drinking party, we guys were wasted. Super wasted. We woke up in the morning. Sorry, not morning. In the afternoon, maybe evening. I'm not saying. So the next day, when we woke up, the fun part is Sumo and Vivo is missing. And that was like a panic over moment. When you have friendship, we have these kind of vocabs into it. Panic over moment is just an incident when you are having hungover and you are hit by a hammer. So then one person came out and then he told us, he was very calm and chill and he's like, dude, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. We told him whatever happened and he's just Vivi only. So Vivi's like, Sumo went out and she will be coming back. So our panic button is over. Now we're just a hangover. So we want to have food. And he comes up with an amazing meat dish and some juices too. So we had it, and trust me, that was one of the best dish that I have had. It tasted a bit different too. And once we had it, we were very satisfied with resting on our bean bags. He told us the meat was Sumo's. Strangely, me, my friend Adi, we were all surprised. Not because of the fact that Sumo is dead, because we were cannibal ourselves. And guess what happened next? We had BB2. And that's what. I know you guys are giving me a strange look. Next will be you too. So that's it, guys.
Mr. Veshak, you are on mute.
I said that's it. That's my time. Like, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Vaishak.
Okay.
That was definitely an exaggerated one. Okay, moving on. Our next participant is Mr. Burlap Praveen Kumar from IIM Bodh Gaya. His hobbies are watching movies. The title of his story is Superhuman. Over to you, Praveen.
Good evening, guys. So I just want to narrate an incident, a few incidents about a common story that happened. So when I was very young, when I in my fifth standard, I watched a movie where I felt very emotional because the the superhero's aunt died because of him, and he felt extremely pain towards it. Like he might be the reason for the loss of his aunt. And I again watched it a couple of times over the years, and every time, like once I just watched it, the story, and the movie is called Spider-Man, and I was watching, like every time after watching a few parts of the Spider-Man, I felt like, I've been using CDMA to smartphone over the years. I've been using air cooler to air conditioner over the years, but there's one thing that don't change in this world. That is static. That is Aunt May will die no matter what. So what happened is like, on going so much, very frustrated about why Aunt May always dies, and she again pops up with every franchise film that comes according to the Spider-Man. One day there's a one guy who don't see English movies. He have seen the last part of the English movie Spider-Man, where the Aunt May actually died. So he just mentioned it, and we had a bet that I told him that we are going to this movie. You know that it's a Hollywood movie. I haven't seen, you haven't seen, but the bet is 5,000, and I'm so sure that Aunt May will die. And he being the one who have seen the previous part, he felt like, okay, Aunt May died. There is no reason she might again come up and again die. So he said, yeah, okay, I'll be part of the bet. And the bet is 5K. We went to the movie Spider-Man, and again the Aunt May died. So he was so, like frustrated. I mean, I even after the movie he came along and told like, "Kaun hai re Aunt May?" Like she always dies in this way. And there happens like where we again after the movie we went to the class, and there is a lecturer for a nuclear physics. He was very strict, and I don't know why he was in the trip of anime. My friend, we are in the class, and he was keep on thinking about it, and how can this the same storyline will can have millions and millions of dollars across. And he was thinking, and suddenly sir asked like, "What are you thinking?" No, the sir is telling about like, yeah, the impact of the nuclear physics and all accordingly. So suddenly, out of blue, he just stand up, sir. I don't think anime will die again, sir. He just told it, and sir suddenly saw his face, and he saw sir's face, and they both saw each other's face, and he had to explain the same story to the principal because that's the punishment he got. So what happened is this time he was so confident over his past few analysis that Aunt May will die, and my friend he lost 5,000 rupees for me on Aunt May's life. So what he did is he went on and told had a bet with another guy on there is an upcoming at that time there's upcoming Spider-Man film, and this time this guy betted that Aunt May will die in this movie, but unluckily Spider-Man died and he lost his 5K. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Praveen. You spinned it around completely with nuclear physics and superhumans, everything. So I would request the audience to give some emotions with the emoticons below, with the reactions below. How do you think the story was? What do you think about the story? Okay, thank you guys. So moving on to the next participant, we have Mr. Shirish Tiwari from IIM Amritsar. Shirish is a very positive person who loves to make friends. His hobbies include playing cricket, listening, singing songs. The title of his story is Friends in High Places. Over to you, Shirish.
Yeah, thank you. So am I audible properly? Okay. So good evening, everyone. My name is Shirish, and I'm a second year student at IIM Amritsar. And the topic is obviously friends in high places. So today at Tall Tales, I'm going to talk about this story is going to be about my friends. So right since my childhood, I have this hobby of developing my vocabulary. So I have built some fantastic vocabulary building techniques, and this vocabulary building techniques has been a cause of envy for many of people around me. So one day, out of a sudden, one of my friends from Brooklyn, New York, calls me, messages me that Shirish, I want to know the secrets of your vocabulary building technique. Please share your secrets with me. So, as he was a good friend of mine, I told him that yes, I will surely share my secrets with you. And I told him that please keep this vocabulary building techniques as a gift from my side. Today, the world knows this guy as Norman Lewis, and he, I have shared my secrets with him. So uh, the book, you all must have read this book in your CAT preparation journey. This book is known as Word Power Made Easy. So another story is that I didn't take any credit for it, as I am a person with very humility. And another story is that I am a person born and brought up in Mumbai. So I like traveling. One of my preferred mode of travel is Mumbai locals. So one day when I was traveling in Mumbai locals, one of the pickpockets stole my purse. So there were a lot of 500 and 1000 rupee notes in it. So I was very distressed by this event, and therefore I called one of my best friends, Mahendra. So Mahendra, as Mahendra was very good friend of mine, he told me that he will avenge this incident and he will take a revenge from the thief. And therefore, right in the evening at 8 p.m., my friend Mahendra announced that all the 500 and 1000 rupee notes are no longer a legal tender. So how many of you guys know how many IITs and IIMs were there before 2014? So there were 16 and 13 IITs and IIMs respectively, to be precise. So I was one of the person who had this idea that every state in India should have at least one IIT and one IIM. So I told this idea to my friend Mahendra, and he told me he liked this idea very much, and he incorporated this idea into his poll promise. And I believe I and my friend Mahendra are one of the reasons why I am Amritsar is into existence. So one of my friends is also Ahul. So this friend of mine has one fantastic financial scheme. So this financial scheme is basically a machine. This machine runs on diesel. So how this financial scheme actually works is you put alus from one side and you get gold from the other side. So many of my friends used to ask me that, Shirish, what is this? How are you paying your MBA fees without a loan? So I'm telling my friend, today I'm going to reveal my secrets. Please don't share my secret with anyone outside this meeting. So my friend Ahul has helped me a lot in paying my MBA fees. So how actually he has done it is that I have give him 1 kg alus, and he has converted it into gold. So that's how precisely I have paid my MBA fees. Now you guys must be thinking, if this is like that, I can make money from the financial scheme. Why am I doing MBA? Why am here at IIM Amritsar? You guys must be having that thought. So basically, my friend Mahendra got to know this, that Ahul is running such schemes. So this machine was used to run on diesel. So Mahendra raised the prices of diesel to the level of gold. So now this scheme is no longer valid, could not run. So Mahendra and Ahul don't like each other. They used to hate each other. But I didn't like the fact that they don't like each other, because both of them are my friends. So I made Ahul understand this fact that we should love everyone. We should be friendly with everyone. So my words had so profound impact on Ahul that he actually went into parliament. He not only praised Mahendra but also hugged Mahendra. So you guys must be knowing that Steve Jobs came to India. So why did Steve Jobs come to India?
Guys,
Just 30
sure.
seconds. Just 30
Please
seconds.
go ahead.
So why Steve Jobs came to India? Apparently, Steve Jobs came to India to meet Baba. Who is that Baba? I am that Baba. Steve Jobs used to fondly call me Baba. So he finally met me, and I gave him wonderful advices that not only helped in his getting back into Apple, but also it helped in the revival of Apple itself. And therefore, as a token of appreciation, Steve Jobs named the virtual assistant of Apple as my nickname, Siri. That's all
Okay,
from
Shirish.
my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shirish. That was quite a fictional story over there. I would definitely like to meet all of your friends at one place someday. So, audiences, what do you think about the story? How is it? Give your reactions. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, moving on to the next participant. The next participant is Shubhankar Sharma from Amity International Business School, Noida. His hobbies are playing chess, consuming YouTube educational content. The title of his story is Why I Deserve Credit for India's Gold Medal at the Tokyo Olympics. Over to you, Shubhankar.
Hi there. Just to confirm, can everyone hear me? All right. This is why I deserve credit for India's gold medal at Olympics 2020. First of all, forget everything that you've been told by the media. False narrative. Let me tell you the real story. The story dates back to my childhood. I was a young boy and my family moved to Haryana. I was joining a new school and I was an intelligent kid, a smart kid, a very athletically gifted kid, and might I add as well, a very modest kid. So when I saw this little kid being bullied, an overweight little kid being bullied, I had to step in. I had to protect him. That kid, ladies and gentlemen, was Neeraj Chopra, my friend Neerju. From that day on, Neeraj was obsessed with me. He was in love with me. He would copy everything about me. I was athletically gifted. He became athletically gifted. He would copy my walk, my style, the way I talked. I feel like you don't believe me. You have seen his long, beautiful hair, right? Who do you think inspired him? I did. He could copy many things, but one of the things that he could not copy was my amazing intellect. He would fail quite often in his classes. But I was a good friend. I would help him cheat. This one time, in our physics test, I was helping him cheat on the most important question of his life. What is the optimal angle to throw a javelin, barring there's no air resistance, to maximize its distance? Let me assure you guys, I told him the right answer. But unfortunately, we got caught. The teacher took us by our hands and threw us into the principal's office. She could have been a javelin champion herself. The earth was shaking, thunder was roaring as my father walked into the principal's office. Ladies and gentlemen, that evening, I got the biggest beating of my life. And my father told me, Shubhankar, never, ever talk to Neeraj ever again. He changed my schools. So I did the most logical thing. I called Neeraj when I was alone. I told him, hey, buddy, I don't think we're ever talking in our lives ever again. I've been told Neeraj cried for 5 days straight. He was heartbroken. He called me 50 times, messaged me 500 times, sent me mails, sent me parcels, sent me a message on Facebook, even though Facebook did not exist. But then he took the most radical step thus far. He showed up outside my house. I lived on the 10th floor. My security was told not to let him in. He jumped over the wall of the compound and fueled by love, fueled by friendship, and with the knowledge of a physics question I told him right, he picked up a pebble and aimed it at the 10th floor of my building at my window. He threw it so far, but he was just a child. He couldn't reach the 10th floor. He reached the 12th floor. He couldn't get my attention that day, but he got the attention of my neighbor whose window he broke. My neighbor, who happened to be, hold your breath, the national coach of India's javelin team. His potential was discovered that day. And for the next decade, fueled by a broken friendship and the anger that brings with it, he put all his heart into training. So after 10 years, when he was on that field and when he won India that gold, he was not thinking about that javelin or the green field in front of him. He was thinking about the 10th floor of my room and he had only one thing on his mind, not the gold, but me. So if you want to ensure that India keeps winning its medals at the javelin throw competition, each and every one of you will chip in and buy me a house at Burj Khalifa so that next time a Neeraj Chopra shows up in front of my house, he has something really high to aim for. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shubhankar. I'm sure H.C. Verma sir would love to take tuitions from you. Okay, so what does the audience think about the same? You can react, guys. Okay, moving on to the next participant. Our next participant is Mr. Sandeep Sahu from IIM Amritsar. Sandeep describes himself as an introvert and the one who can adapt in any situation. His hobbies are gardening, and the title of his story is Human on Earth and Solar System. Over to you, Sandeep.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. So, mom is something who can talk to anyone and very extroverted in the real world. He can convince any people to if he want to correct the any kind of sorry. So if you want to any correct any activity of the our child, he can talk to anybody. So what my mom did, I was very hungry for eating burgers or momos. I was eating non-healthy foods. So he talked to the green leafy vegetables. And one day I walked to the refrigerator and I opened the door. What happens? The green leaves of the vegetables comes onto my arm and they keeps on wrapping on me. And it was wrapping around me like a banyan tree. And suddenly it comes under like a anaconda. Something anaconda has wrapping around me and I was in the middle of it. And suddenly the cabbage comes over my head and the rain was coming down and it was very salty, just like a lemon. And what happening? The apple was there and the potato was there. They was talking about like, see, he looks very fatty now. He needs to go to the gym. So after 1 hour of day, I was go to the gym, and what happened? I was in a treadmill, and it happened. The treadmill keeps on increasing, and after a period of a time, what I observed, I was running over the planet on Earth. Okay, the Earth is revolving very fast, and was suddenly dropped onto the moon. And it was not on the Mars moon; it was our moon, where everywhere people are littering there, and there's all kind of flags over there. And after I got a call from him on, you haven't put your you haven't put your shoes in the correct place, and you always litter. So that is the punishment of you. Then I understand how I go back to the earth. Then I just use my skills of singing la 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 la, and then I got a call from the Rohit, and he sent the spaceship to coming back from my space to Earth. And another day I go to my office, and what I observe is in the cabin which is just near to me, a person has been my colleague has been sitting over there. I thought, but it was not. It was Rohit Shetty, who is in the pallu of something, and he was crying there. So I thought, why he was crying? He is a very good to business, and he was releasing very blockbuster movies. Why he's crying? Then I talked to him. He told me I was very I was very angry with the Ranveer Singh. I said, why? He always keeps on going anywhere without like he was always something kind of sari or anything. He doesn't have a costume. He can wear anything. So it was kind of a traumatic me. So I asked how it can be done. Yeah, he also wear the same thing, and he always asks to me so to wear the same thing and go to the public. That is the problem. So I told him just contact to Rohit and throw him into the Mars, and there he can find and not nothing, and the whole habit has been changed of the Ranveer Singh. And one day I see that he got married to Priyanka. Oh, sorry, he got married to Deepika, and the habit of getting into public like in certain kind of costumes has been gone down. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. I'm sure Rohit would be using the story in his movie someday. Okay, so moving on to the, how was the reaction, guys? Can you give us some reaction, audience? Okay, so moving on to the next participant. The next participant is Arundhati Das from KJ Somaya Institute of Management. She is here just to have a good time. I guess we all are having a good time. Her hobbies are reading, writing, running. The title of her story is Generic Camping Horror Story. Over to you, Arundhati.
Hi everyone, just going to share the story of a camping trip I had a while ago. It's a little long, so bear with me. See, I knew the camping trip was going to be a bust when the driver ran away. So here we were, me and my 3 friends, stranded in the middle of nowhere. In the interest of full disclosure, I will say that Rajesh Bhaiya had warned us about the forest, but you know, the usual. Strange noises, mysterious disappearances. But I'm doing an MBA, so there's very little that frightens me. There we were, the 4 of us, tired and hungry and following my best friend Annapurna blindly because none of us knew where we were going. I even remember asking her, dude, where are we going? You'll see, Annapurna said, which in hindsight is the creepiest thing anybody can say to you when the only thing you can hear is the crack of twigs under your feet and the occasional cawing of a crow. But you know, I didn't breakfast 6 hours ago, man. Can you blame me for not being more alert? Anyway, in an hour, we had a fire going, some Maggie, and life seemed pretty good. The forest didn't even seem scary at that point. So we asked her, what is the story about the forest? Cannibal ghosts, she said. So, you know, they're eternal cannibals. They feed on human beings for energy. They're not really human anymore because they've been eating people for so long. They don't have any humanity left. They're just skin held together with bones. Not the kind of people you'd want to meet on a cold, lonely night. Honestly, I was kind of spooked, so I asked her to pass around the thermos. So Annapurna handed me the thermos and we all drank some. It wasn't until a few minutes later that I noticed she was drinking from a different one. Allergies, she said. Allergies? Annapurna never had allergies. I'd known her for 12 years. If she had allergies, I would have known. Something's wrong, I said. Kind of a late response, but in my defense, I was being drugged. I turned around to ask Elena, but she was already on the ground. So I went to ask Annapurna if she was all right. But I didn't have to. She was sitting upright looking at me with a creepy little smile on her face. The last thing I remember before passing out was wondering why I hadn't realized there was no sugar in the tea. When I woke up, I was tied up. My hands, my feet, my mouth was gagged. We were in some kind of clearing with a huge fire up ahead. I counted, 3 of us. Where was Annapurna? I saw Elena make a little gesture with her eyes and I looked up ahead and I saw her, along with a group of people who I think I'll remember until the day I die. Please don't ask me to describe them because I would never be able to, not in a million years. They were scary and disgusting and just not something any sane person would want to look at. For your sake and mine, just trust me. Oh, you're awake, Annapurna said. I couldn't say anything really, but I tried to convey a lot of emotion with my eyes. I might have looked constipated, I don't remember. So you might have realized by now what's happening, she said. I didn't understand how it took me so long to get it. Annapurna had picked the place, Annapurna had spoken to the driver, and Annapurna was the one who brought us to this godforsaken place. She bent down and took the gag out of my face. Why? I asked. You're a business major, right? So you understand the importance of a good deal. 4 human souls in exchange for a mortality deal. I looked at the cannibal ghosts. They were looking back at us, hungry. I had to think of a plan. So I kept her talking. So are they going to eat us? Annapurna laughed. No, not eat. Sacrifice to their god. Trust Annapurna to make a business with immortal monsters. Hey, I shouted to the ghosts. Can you understand me? From looking at their expressions, probably not, but I just kept going. I tried to sit up. You know, I told them, you really shouldn't be sacrificing any of us to your god. I don't think my friend has told you, but we're all what you'd call defective goods. Annapurna looked enraged. Anyway, untie us and I'll show you. Surprisingly, the threat of a good deal gone bad seemed to encourage those things. One of them snapped their fingers and the ropes fell away. My plan was just crazy enough to work. You see, Shreya, I pointed at my other friend, she wears glasses. These things, she's blind. She can't see. And Elena, well, you know, she's a warrior princess in her village. You just be spiting a different god. Elena, show them. Elena stared at me and then delivered the finest roundhouse kick I'd ever seen. She's same difference. Well, you can see I'm really short and I'm shorter than everyone else here. So naturally, I'm cursed. You wouldn't want to sacrifice any of us. Your God would be super angry with you. Whoever was the chief of the ghosts, the biggest one, I'm assuming, looked pretty angry. We just put a wrench in his plans. Clearly, we'd solved his problem. Clearly, we solved our problem, but not his. Her, though, I pointed to Annapurna. She's worth all three of us. She's smart, she's beautiful, she's definitely a really super specimen. You would be so blessed. All of the ghosts slowly turned towards Annapurna, which is when she started crying, begging for them to take us instead. Anyway, we didn't stay to watch. We left.
I think.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
just
last
I don't know
visit.
if there's a moral to the story, but if we learned anything, it's this: the customer is always king.
Thank you, Arundhati. You just taught us a few marketing concepts in a spooky way. Thank you. So any reaction by guys? Okay, thank you guys. So moving on to the next participant. Next participant is Mr. Ankit Nag from IIM Amritsar. He describes himself as an aspiring marketeer and an ardent debater. His hobbies are learning languages and beatboxing. The title of his story is Unhidden Truth of Solar System. Over to you, Ankit.
Thank you, Yatindra. So before I begin, I would like to ask how many of you are very much interested in space and know much details about space? How many of you are there? So can I have the hands up? Okay, anyway, even if you don't know much about space, so I will explain this to you. So I'll start. So we have all heard about rejections, right? We have all heard about failures. But do you know who's the biggest failure? That's Pluto. It is mocked by everyone. For example, the time when I say the biggest failure, someone would come and say, bro, but it's a dwarf planet, bro. When Munna Bhaiya said, बहुत तकलीफ होती है जब आप योग्य हो और कोई आपकी योग्यता पहचान ना पाए. Pluto felt it, bro. Pluto is the Munna Bhaiya of our solar system, and by the reputation, it is also Lalit, short form LL. If you know, you know. 5 satellites. Pluto has 5 satellites. Earth has 1. Nobody considers it as a planet. Someone calls it a planet, someone calls it a former planet, someone calls it dwarf planet, and someone don't consider it important enough to call anything, Call a kid and ask, what do you know about Pluto? They will call it, it's a Mickey Mouse character. And even in that, the owner of that dog, Pluto is a dog, which is here, and that owner of the dog is another dog. We need a final verdict. We demand arrange a psychotherapy session for that tiny kid of Pluto. He must be in depression, no? Now, I'll tell you a story. Now, in any college, there is always this hot chick, right? With whom everyone has a crush on. All of them you would see will be revolving around her. Planets are those roadside, orbit side Romeos. And Sun is that hot chick. Sun, hot. Irony, Talking about the Romeos. Now, Saturn is that cheating bastard who is already engaged. He wears a ring, but still is after the Sun. He did manage to hide himself pretty well behind those asteroid belt. He is never caught. But not everyone is as lucky as Saturn. There is one more planet who also wears a ring, and that is Uranus. It takes a little bit of mispronunciation to make his name sound so vulgar. He had a cool name before, It was Georgium Sidus. But as I said, he had a ring, he was married, and his ex caught him cheating. And as a revenge, changed Georgie's name to Uranus. Now, behind any hot girl, there would always be a muscular bodybuilder guy, right? Trying to flatter, but doesn't have any material in him. That's Jupiter, my friend. I told him, Jupy bro, don't take steroids. Don't take steroids. Suna hi nahi meri baat. He didn't even listen to me. And now look at him. It's filled with gas. Jupiter is a hunk. Saturn is that married old man wearing a ring. But see, Saturn has more satellites. Stirred aadmi. Hazam hi nahi hua Jupy ko. Gas ho gaya usko. By the way, satellites are those hot chicks with whom, side chicks, sorry, whom you don't have a crush on, but they do. They stalk you. Now, Neptune, the guy is just so introvert, The people don't know much about it. What do we know? It is blue in color, and that planet just exists. His only job is to smoke up and sit in some corner as a gatekeeper, making sure Pluto is out of solar system. Now, talking about introvert, do you know there's this guy called Black Hole? Let's not make any jokes on him. He's a kidnapper, very dark and shady character. Now, I would like to talk about a story about a divorced couple. Now, this planet exists together as a whole, but soon things got heated up and they crashed. The custody of the kids went to the lively but this sweaty planet parent. I'm talking about Earth, my friend, and that poor spouse is Moon. Earth and Moon were married, but now they're separated. Moon has not been able to forget Earth. That's why till date it has never left stalking Earth. This possessiveness of Moon has shielded Earth from few antisocial elements as well, Mr. Comet. Now, Earth has a crush on Sun, and Moon knows that, and it cannot expose himself. So it puts on a few makeup shades, just to hide himself. And those are Half Moon Edition, Full Moon Unlimited Edition, a Friends Edition called Crescent. Sorry if I made your Chanda Mama sound incest. But you know who's the villain of the story? Those kids. They've exploited their dad, the Earth. And in old age, instead of taking care of the parent, they have already started calling out their neighbor, Mr. Mars, daddy. Daddy as a father, not in other sense. The point that I'm trying to make is everyone has feelings. Earth has too. Earth had the best shot of impressing the sun.
It could have, I think, a few more seconds.
Yeah, it could have gone and hugged and kissed Sun long time back, but it did not go anywhere because we would have been doomed. We need to show some more respect to Earth, show some more love and care. Don't make him feel dejected and used. That's my time, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ankit. Now I'm sure everyone's perspective to look at the solar system is going to change. So, what do you think, guys? How is it? Okay, thank you, everyone. So the next participant that we have is Miss Meghavati Bhomik from XISS Ranchi. She describes herself as a clumsy cup of everything drizzled with humor. The title of her story is It's All Metaversical. Over to you, Meghavati.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Sometimes it is very difficult when you are intelligent or a prodigy, but it's more difficult when it's only your mom who believes that you are the smartest kid. So when I told her about this contest, she said, beta, you should be the one who should address it, not be a participant of it. So being this humble personality that I have no issues. I'll share all my business acumen that I have curated for the past 17 years with all of you people, because even though if I'm doing an MBA, I know beyond the years, as you guys know. So the first lesson in my today's class is what to do when you have a very smart idea. Please don't say to your mom. Next happened to me back when in October 2003. When I was watching Oswald with my very good friend, Din Ache Iyengar. I hope you all know him. He's been famous right now. So, I was watching and he was moving to Gujarat the next month. I was devastated. Our friendship was such a surreal thing. We had it when I first had my ambitions. I came home and in this moment of sadness, this idea struck me and I just said to my mom, Mom, what if we could have this platform where we could talk to everyone we to know who have lost through the years or whom we met and who are moving out. And my mom looked at me and said, you know what, beta? That's a brilliant idea. She went on Orkut, as you guys know, and talked with a neighbor's friends group she had, eponymously named Aao Behan Chugli Kare. And then with the Harvard return friend, Mr. Sharma ji's beta, there she shared the idea. He said, auntie, that's a great idea. I'll tell my friend Mark about it. Rest is history, guys. So as Facebook came in, we all made friends. We all made profile in it. I was still looking for Dinachi Iyengar, haven't found him. Struggling in maths and discussing my smart ideas to my mom. Evening, I said, what if mom, we can do this video calls and message people on Facebook? My mom looked at me and said, you know what, beta? That's a brilliant idea. She went on at Facebook and said, my daughter gave this nice idea and her 4,999 friends, including Mark Zuckerberg, also liked it. And rest is history, guys. Okay, then the time passed by. 2009 came in. I still haven't found dinner triangle. Still struggling in maths and have been catfished by many Angel Priya accounts on Facebook. I had this epiphany. What if I could instantly post photographs and like telegram it on this? Like I can text them underneath it, maybe like a photo of a cat or an egg, if you remember. I told my mom about it, and she looked straight into my eyes and she said, "You know what, beta? That's a brilliant idea." She texted this to her Sharma ji ka beta living in Howard, Kevin Systrom about it. Yes, guys, rest is history, and Instagram came in. Years passed by. It was 2009. I'm still struggling in math, still haven't found Din Achhe Aayenge, still frustrated by Facebook, still being stupid. And I asked my mom, what if, like this, we talk to my people and we could just easily meet and say, what's up? And like this, things we do now, like we do with our friends. And she said, what if we could do it instantly on net and little net usage is there and the status is also visible? She posted this on Facebook, and a Sharmaji beta said, I'll just, auntie, that's a great idea. I'll tell this to my LA based friend, Brian. Rest is history, guys. Years passed by, this global pandemic has also came in, and now I have stopped sharing my ideas with my mom, as you know why. And but in a moment of frustration, while I was teaching her that Instagram and Facebook are two different apps and not one, I just shouted, said, what if we could have one name for all of the Zuckerberg apps? And she looked at me. You know, she said the most profoundest thing possible, dead into dead white, straight into my eye. Hmm, that's a brilliant idea, beta. And she started typing hysterically on the family group. So rest is history, guys. It is metaversical. Thank you. That's my time.
Thank you so much, Mega. So I'm sure if this news goes out, all the paparazzi will be all over you.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping low and just sharing with a few 57 people here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mega. So, audience, how was it? How did you like? Okay, moving on to our next participant. Our next participant is Preetham Jaswal from IIM Amritsar. He is an optimistic and an inquisitive person and always looking out for opportunities to learn something new. His hobbies are writing poetry and playing chess. The title of his story is Story of Preetham, Rahul and Alia and a New Vision. Over to you, Preetham.
Hi, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, Preetham, you are audible. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Preetham Deswal. I am a scientist, but not by profession. Do you know who is my best friend? Absolutely no. My best friend are Rahul ji and Alia. Alia is very talented and math Olympiad. She is also good in general knowledge and have a good IQ. Rahul ji is not only a serious friend, he is also my best friend, and he suggested me as well. He is very interested in politics, and he likes cartoon shows like Chota Bheem, Doraemon, Shin-chan. When we meet, discussed about many topics, we are discussing tricky mathematical questions. What is the value of 5 into 5 into 0? Then Alia thought about it and said that we can multiply with 0 also. Then it should be a 250, not 25. I was surprised when I checked the answer in calculator. My calculator showed 0. For the first time, we felt proud because the calculator was showing an error, and but the human calculator never this type of error. I can never challenge Alia's IQ. Once I asked Alia, who is the PM of India? She gave a quick answer, Prithvi Raj Chauhan. Once I asked, which is the national animal of India? Then Rahul said, Jackal Saraf. Then Alia said, it was the previous national animal. And Tiger Saraf is the national animal now.
I salute her mind. Modi said to us, कितने तेजस्वी लोग हैं हमारे पास, कहाँ से आते हैं ये लोग? I want to see the next PM of India in Rahul Ji, because his motto, his vast knowledge should be very fruitful for India. He wants to reduce poverty with a fantastic model. The model name is Pappu model. This model shows that if we put potatoes in one side, we will get other side gold with that type of machine. With this invention, farmers make good profits. Other model said if we need input rice in the machine, then we will silver at the output. The last model said that if we feed pomegranate into the machine, we will get diamonds. Everyone would be rich, and India's economy would be grown by this model. In this vision of Rahul Ji, we can make India once more the Sone ki chidiya. We invented this model. We will win the next election with our strong motto. Someone said that there is a will, if there is a will, and there is a way. Thank you so much for listening to the fantastic tall tales through the Vaani Club.
So guys, can we have a reaction on this? So our next participant is Miss Yashika Bahel from Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women. Yashika describes herself as an average girl with extraordinary enthusiasm and dreams in her eyes. Her hobbies are orating, dancing. The title of her story is Beautiful Scars. Over to you, Yashika.
Oh, it's me. Wait. Wait, I'm just 2 minutes. Okay, yeah, I'm Yashika Bahel. And sorry, it was not my chance, so I was wearing earrings. Okay, so yeah, I'm Yashika Bahel. I'm scared because I am an engineering student caught up between talented MBAs, but that's fine. Okay, so this title of my story, as you heard, is Beautiful Scars. I don't know it is exaggerated or not because my life itself is exaggerated. So I'm just portraying the real story. So yeah, here I go. Oh God, how amazing am I looking? But is it okay to go like this? Wouldn't people say that? Darling, have you seen this Yashika Bahel? Tell her that Tall Tales 2.0 is going on here. Fashion show is on the next street. Oh, see her. Has she worn earrings or hammers in her ears? No. I'm going to recite a story, not to become one. Why are you guys seeing me like this? Once again, between our desires and what people will say, the people won. Yeah, don't agree. Keep persuading yourself that I don't mind these people. Logo se sanu ki farak penda hai. I am a free bird. But when these 4 magical words, what people will say knock our doors, all of us get a mini heart attack. But the question is, who are these people? And is it worth it to lose your own identity for these so-called people? So this is a story when I took my first step towards my 12th standard. After this year, school was going to end. Couples were walking hand in hand. Girls were walking in blue, pink, purple hair was becoming a trend. Sassiness was increasing. Skirt length was decreasing. Except me, everyone in the school looked pleasing. Actually, no. I also had some changes, like my spectacles got thicker and my lifetime partner, my pimples too. And to be honest, these pimples are more faithful than people. They leave scars, but not deep enough to scar my cheerful heart. In fact, these are the role models for my future husband. I want someone as constant and forever as they are. So basically, I was never bothered by them. But now maybe. On one hand, where everyone was contesting for head boy and head girl post, no one even asked me once. They said, Yashika, you should focus on your studies. If you will become the head girl, then school trip location would be temple and a farewell disco song will be Jai Mata Di. Seriously, okay, I agree. I may not be beautiful, but I am super cute too, huh? But how will I explain this to these judgmental people? So I just buried this dream inside my heart like the other ones. I think that this heart is overloaded too now. Next day, when I entered school with a sad, pale face, my teacher handed me this big pile of papers and said, Yashika, get ready. You have to take an interview of Miss Nandini Das now. She's a great transgender activist. Don't ask any extra questions. This is a very sensitive topic. And yes, talk in Hindi. Don't utter English. She won't understand. Okay. One more thing to mess my already messed up life. I washed my face, gathered up courage, and went for this mission. When I entered the auditorium, a lady was sitting on the sofa, wearing a well-wrapped Kanjivaram sari, hair tucked up in a tight bun, red lipstick, a big red bindi, amazingly gorgeous, I swear she was. After watching her, I was left astonished, exactly like this. She looked at me, smiled, and said, I know I'm beautiful. I wanted to reply, yes, you are. But as I was instructed not to be extra, so I left it there. I picked to realize that you are different from others. She said, excuse me, who is different? Why will I realize that I am different when I am not? Am I looking like an alien to you? And why are you asking questions in Hindi? All the guests get interviewed in English only, I guess. I was shocked, frightened. Sorry, ma'am, I didn't know these questions are not mine. My school is at the fault. She laughed, she kept her pious hand on my head and said, I know, bacha, just do one thing. Keep these notes aside and let's talk our hearts out. And yes, we'll talk in our mother tongue only, okay? Let me start. As you saw, people consider us different. They think that how will transgenders know how to converse in English? And the thought is valid too. When we won't get to study at schools, how will we know these things? But sweetheart, experience teaches us everything. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. See, I know enough English. This is me, Nandini Das. I belong to a community that never got accepted by the society. Then my curious soul boiled and I asked that, if people don't accept you, how do you survive in this society? She figured out that I was trying to find the answers of my life through these questions. She said, absolutely. When I accepted who I am, I tried a lot that the
Last few
society would
seconds.
accept me too. But this wasn't possible. And after a point, I realized that the standards of the society in which I was trying to fit in, that society has double standards itself. Here, if a girl is uneducated, she is useless, illiterate. And if she is educated, then shameless. If a boy doesn't cry, then he is stone-hearted. And if he does, then not manly enough. I don't want to get accepted in such society. And if you talk about us, then the claps of you people are claps of achievements, happiness, pride, and our claps are the claps of shame, disgust, and whatnot. And we guys live for the claps of these people whose definition of clap is unclear itself. In short, live
Yashika,
for
I think
yourself. Live for people, 30 seconds. Live for people who don't judge you. Understood, cutie? Yes, I got every single word that she said. I understood. Thus, that if we will think about what people will think, then what people will think. Oh, mommy, handle it
I'm
with
sorry,
care.
Yashika. I think
I
we'll
have
have to
shed my
stop now.
yeah,
It's
last line is
been
this.
a
I have
lot of
shed
time.
my tears and blood to get this head girl badge. Yeah, so where was I? Be yourself, be happy. Don't change yourself for some mere opinions. You all are just perfect. Thank you.
Wow, wow. So that was amazing from all the participants. Now we will be declaring the results very soon. So the wait is over, guys. I want all the participants to turn on their cameras. So any guesses for the second runner-up? Any guesses? I know I'm very bad at building the suspense, but I'll still do this. Okay, so the second runner-up is, that is the third place, is Shirish from I Am Amritsar. Okay, so moving on to runner-up, that is second place. So any guesses now, at least? Second place, so the first runner-up is Yashika. Congratulations, Yashika Behel.
Thank you. This is really unexpected because sir, Samrat sir was like, I couldn't recognize if he's smiling or not because he was trying to keep a constant reaction so that no one of us could know that who is the winner. So yeah, it is totally unexpected. Thank you so much, sir. If you have any suggestions on how can I improve, then please share.
So moving on to the winner of this competition, that is Tall Tales 2.0. So the winner is so the winner is Shubhankar Sharma.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, completely audible.
Yeah. This was really fun. I mean, yeah, I have never done something like this, but I have been into debating a little bit. But it was really fun doing something a little absurd, a little humorous for a change. The public speaking platforms generally focus too heavily on policy and serious logical debates. This was a fresh breath of air, and yeah, kind of fulfills my dream of doing something similar to Toastmasters. And yeah, the event was great, and I had really good time preparing for it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thanks a lot for your words of appreciation. And I would like to congratulate to all the winners for second and third. It was fantastic to have such an amazing bunch of talents. We really enjoyed a lot and hope you all would have also enjoyed as much as we have. With this, we would like to conclude this event.
Thank you all once again.